Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to On the Glide Slope. Today we are going to do a little sunrise flight over the new territory I've got here in the real world of Central Florida and Tampa. We're going to take off from Peter O. Knight, fly up and catch presume we've talked to the Tampa air traffic control and that we pick up the bridge transition across the bay at 2,500 feet. That we then get to the coast, fly down the coast, staying out of the Tampa Bravo, and then once we get down to about the 300-degree radial for Sarasota, fly into Sarasota for a landing. So not too formal here. I'm not going to be running all the checklists and everything. Just wanted to do an early morning flight. Real-time weather and real-time time. We're also running with the new lights modification, the .txt file that was on the .org. I've also linked to it on the blog and in the previous video here on the channel. And since I'm up early, I just thought it'd be kind of fun to go for a real-world flight. So it's 6:30 a.m. here, and we're gonna get started. I've got my coffee here on the quickly devolving glare shield, which I'm gonna have to replace here probably this week. Maybe I'll rebuild it because after a year and a half of use, the adhesive is coming off. But hey, what can you do? So without any further ado, let's get some batteries and some power working on here. Get some lights going. Get the beacon running. Fuel pump. Mixture rich. Prop in quarter, step on the brakes. This is the Peter O. Knight scenery that I designed. It's available on the .org for those who are curious. Tail back to about 1,000 RPM. Radios. Go. Nav lights. Okay, I'm not going to enter a flight plan into the 530 today, although we could if we wanted to. And I've been able to hard code my rotary switches here to the 530, so I could get a flight plan going if I wanted to, but we'll just fly with the ForeFlight here. Let's get the weather. Peter O. Knight 118.925. I don't remember if that was working or not. I might need to go in and check it and change it in the scenery. We'll find out.
Peter O. Knight weather. Wind 160 at 5. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 26. Dew point -13.
That's good.
Altimeter 2991.
2991. Okay, altimeter set. Wind for 16.
Wind 160 at 5. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 26. Dew point -13. Altimeter 2991.
So we'll take off on 18. And taxi lights are on.
Peter O. Knight weather. Wind 160 at 5.
Okay. Get ourselves scooted in here. Working brakes. All right. The new lights file is really pretty amazing. Looks really, really good. Let's see here. Probably take taxiway D all the way. For those who asked if my stutters were gone, for the most part they have been. I think it was a Windows update issue. I'm sort of proud, pride goeth before the fall, but I'm sort of proud of this scenery. I hand placed every single light. So rather than just having the X-Plane WED auto-populate the taxiways, I actually placed every light where it is in the real world. That was time-consuming, shall I say. but I think it looks nice, worked out well. Should we go with red? Ooh. This flight is going to take us, this flight's going to take us about 45 minutes. I'll try to record most of it. Probably won't record the whole thing from front to back, but mostly this is a sightseeing tour. We'd make our CTAF call. PDRO night, Skyhawk 15 Juliet Golf departing 18. Then we're going to climb up to 2500, make a turn to the north. Goes to the left traffic here, so you could say that we're going to be making a left downwind departure. And taxi light off, landing lights on, strobes. All right. I keep toggling my parking brakes somehow. Not quite sure how I do that. Got something switched to them. There we go. It's put a landing light in the middle of that runway. And once again, my parking brake is on somehow. Not quite sure what's doing that. Well, let's abort this takeoff. We obviously have some key assignment here to the rudders or something that's reading as a parking brake. So I'm going to fix that. Get off the runway here, and we'll figure it out. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that was about, but we're back at the end of the runway. I reloaded the aircraft. Things seem to be working. So without further ado, let's go. Again, let's look out for that one flashing runway light in the middle of runway 18. Airspeed's alive, on the center line, takeoff point, rotate. Feet. And the Bravo here, we'd be talking to Tampa. We would have talked to them before we took off. Told them that we want to make the bridge transition. They assign us 2500. They would be vectoring us, I'm sure. Turn north. See Tampa executive out there. We may go into the cloud deck here, but that's okay. We'll get to see how that looks. Actually, if we're VFR, we could request 2100. Let's say they keep us at 2300. The transition for the bridge transition is 2100 to 3500. So let's assume that they give us 24. That's fine. That's where we are. Bubble off. Back out of the power just a little bit. We're gonna fly right over the top of Tampa. I can see it over here. So this text file is available in the .org if you do a search, or if it's still in the first several pages of the .org forum right now. It just says night lighting. I also link to it in the blog and in the video post before this one. And it is pretty straightforward. You just download this .txt file and you drop it into your bitmaps folder over the other one. In fact, I renamed the other one before I would overwrite it. Right now we'll turn. We'll fly right over the top of Tampa Airport, which is actually in a Bravo one of the safest places to be, because everything's landing or taking off and not over the top. And then we'll follow the bridge out over Clearwater and then fly south along the coast. Got downtown Tampa passing off to our left. So this TXT file, it increases the halo and brightness of the halo from the street lamps, which means you then have the street lights lighting up surrounding environments. And I gotta tell you, it looks much more realistic. The city looks much more alive. You see the reflections of lights on buildings. And there's zero performance hit, near as I can tell. Really works great. And just looking at it, it's awful bright. Turn off the core flight for a second. Just looking at it, like as I'm flying over downtown Tampa here, it just looks so much more alive and real. I'm looking over at I-75 there, and it's really pretty slick. Okay, it's called the bridge transition because we're going to follow this bridge in front of us out to Clearwater. That's Clearwater right there. Flying right over the top of Tampa International here. We should start to have sunrise. I don't know if you can see, but the moon is setting right in front of us, underneath the clouds. That's pretty slick. See the hold short lines of Tampa, Lincoln. To the top of Dale Mabry, which is sort of the main north-south highway or surface street in Tampa. And we can see St. Pete Airport out there. Right over the top of KTPA at the moment. And over there we've got MacDill Air Force Base. Okay, we're over Clearwater. We finished that transition. And once we get out over the beach, then we'll be out of the Bravo. Right now the Bravo is above us at 3,000. So we've been let go by Tampa. We're going to come down over the beach, get over the coast, and then fly our way south. And as long as we are on the wet side of the ocean, we'll be out of the Tampa Bravo. I'm sorry, we're not out of the Bravo completely. It goes up to 6,000 feet. And so we'll climb up to 5,000 feet, something like that, to have decent glide distance in case we have a problem with the thing that makes the wind. 5,500, something like that. And we don't have a horizon up here. We've got the cloud deck. Makes it harder to see. And we should start getting some sunrise here pretty soon. I can see the Bravo here also. Okay, so now we can start to head south.
Wind 150.
There's the coast. Fly down along Clearwater Beach. We've got Pinellas County off to our left. Okay, it's calling for broken at 33, so we'll keep it at 2,500 feet on the way down. It's plenty of gliding distance if we need it, but I'd rather stay out of the clouds. I have to say the X Enviro clouds look great. This looks very realistic to me, especially the way they pick up the glow from the lights. That's very cool. You guys can see the sky starting to lighten up a little bit up there. We should be getting close to sunrise. Okay, so we'd be getting ready for Sarasota. ATIS is 124.375. And if we just were interested in tracking the VOR, VOR is 117.0. Oh, there we go. I wanted to intercept the 30 radial from. We'll make our turn. Just our VOR up. Looks like it's a little slow. There we go. So I haven't found a really great solution for something that tunes these fast when you turn them fast and slow when you turn them slow, but that worked pretty well. Okay. Oops, bumped the camera. Let's just call that turbulence. Okay, we've got the shore off to our left. We are flying our way down Pinellas County. But when we make our way down the coast here, we won't have a really good landing spot other than some islands in the dark. So if I'm thinking gliding distance, I probably want to have some altitude. So let's climb up to maybe 4,000 feet. That'll give me more gliding distance, so that by the time we're halfway over, we could turn around and make it back to something we can see. We just wouldn't be able to see those islands to land in them because they're not populated, and that would be bad. So we'll climb up to 4,000 feet. I can see I can see Albert Wooded Field out there, just off the strut, where I fly in real life. St. Petersburg. And there we've got the Skyway, I think it's called, bridge heading south. Yep. And we'd follow that down, but the Bravo shelf, there's only 1,200 feet. So I don't like being that low over the water. I'm going to see if I can see what the current ATIS is for Sarasota Airport.
Sarasota Bradenton INTL information Yankee. 1000 Zulu weather. Wind 190 at 11. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear.
190 at 11.
Temperature 25. Dew point -14. Altimeter 298. Arriving runway 14. Departing runway 14. Advise on initial contact you have Yankee.
Listen to that one more time.
Sarasota Bradenton INTL information Yankee. 1000 Zulu weather. Wind 190 at 11. Visibility more than 10.
190.
Sky clear.
Okay.
Temperature 25. Dew point -14. Altimeter 298. Arriving runway 14. Departing runway 14. Advise on initial contact you have Yankee.
Yep, so 14, so they would probably give us straight in unless they were busy, but we'll see.
Sarasota Bradenton INTL information Yankee.
Turn a little bit further southeast here. I can still see a little population on some of those islands. In case we needed to get out there, but right now we're sort of flying in the dark. See the sun is starting to come up off my left wing. Because of the sun coming up on this side being lighter than this side, I feel like I'm turning right or left, banking left. I've had to keep checking my instruments to make sure I'm straight and level. Interesting effect. And since I want to have a little sunrise, we'll fly and come around and enter on the downwind for, right downwind for 14. Okay, we've got some population down below us here, so we're okay to land if we need to. We've got to lose 4,000 feet altitude so we can start coming down a little bit. Sun's starting to come up, the sky's brightening. Okay, in just a minute here we won't have to really worry about the Tampa Bravo anymore. That's the edge of its shelf right there. But we will be coming into the Sarasota Charlie. And we'll presume that we've called them up. Told them we're going to fly down the coast a little bit and then enter on the right downwind for 14 is what they told us. And the way you would probably handle that with Charlie is you'd let them know that you're doing a little bit of a scenic flight, that you'd like to continue down the coast and come in from the southeast. They would say that's not going to be a problem. Mostly I'm doing that just because I want to see a little bit more of the sunrise here and see how that looks. .30 feet altitude at Sarasota, so we've got about another 2,000 feet to lose to pattern altitude. We've crossed the 300-degree radial, so if I wanted to make straight in, if I had no radio and I couldn't see the airport, we would have turned there. And our DME is telling us that we're 9 miles out of the field. And with the airspeed, with the wind, our ground speed is only 67 knots. So we're crawling along. I can see the shoreline now. You can see the islands running along the shoreline and the bay at Sarasota. Looks like we have a couple boats out there in the water. The lights, stars starting to dim. One thing that's cool about these simulators is the stars are accurate, so you can see real constellations if you choose to. Still some clouds out there in the distance. We'll level off here and do a little 360 so you can see how things look in terms of the night environment. We'll turn not quite a steep turn, but not standard either. Pull on that yoke. You see the clouds coming into view here. Pretty nice job, all things considered. Sun coming up, a little pink glow, that's nice. And when we were in those clouds, I turned the anti-aliasing down. When I took off, I had the anti-aliasing turned down a little bit to save me some frames because of the clouds. I'm going to go ahead and turn that back on. There we go. You probably can't tell by the time this all gets through the camera, but I can tell a little bit myself. And again, if you are losing some frames because of clouds, go into the settings and turn your anti-aliasing down. I turn it down to the second to lowest rating, and it usually gives me 10 or 15 frames right out of the gate. But it's usually when I'm either in the clouds or close to them. Make another little loop here. That's cool. It's amazing what we have at our disposal from a technology standpoint, isn't it? Just so cool. We'll go down to Sarasota Point and then come back that way. That's Sarasota Point right there. Okay, we're coming up on Sarasota Point. Sun's coming up. We'll do another little loop here just to get a sense of the sunrise and the textures, which are pretty great. Over the water. I'm not a fan of the water textures for X-Plane, but I know they're on the list to get improved or fixed. That's looking back toward the coast where we came from. Still some clouds up over Tampa, which is great. X-Enviro does a great job of that. And right into the sunset. or sunrise. It's looking pretty sweet. All right, so we will now go to the airport. Not the best turn I've ever executed, but a little out of practice. Okay, so we're going to enter on a right downwind for 14. We're lined up pretty well for that. Downtown Sarasota right there. Okay, let's start getting ourselves ready here. Fuel pump on, landing light on. Mixture is rich. Hoping my GoPro makes it. Okay, we're on a downwind leg for 14. We are a little high, 1,500 feet. There goes 04 going right by us there off that strut. Okay. Wind bringing us across, so we got to be mindful of that. Okay, we're at the numbers. First notch. Let the airplane go down. Sort of a wide pattern here. I'm not a fan of being out over this water with being this far from the airport, but it is what it is. Keep flying downhill. Okay, airport's about 45 degrees behind us. Turn on to base. Kind of a quartering tailwind here, so we need to adjust for that. Pretty sunrise though. That's what we were hoping for. Next notch. Okay. Fuel pump is on, landing light is on, mixture is rich. Flaps are set. Speed's pretty good, we're a little slow. Wind's still blowing us pretty good. Make our turn on to final. Can't quite see the VASI. Says we're low. It says we're at 400 feet. I wonder if my altimeter is adjusted incorrectly. I'll just catch back up to the glide slope, that's no problem. I felt low. I don't feel like I'm 400 feet off the ground. Well, that's why we have, in this case, a PAPI. Just fly back into it, right at 70 knots, trimmed right where we want to be. Somebody just slammed the door behind me. Sorry to hear that. Well, we've got it made now. And in the Cessna here, I like 2 notches of flaps. I find with 3 it sinks like a stone. Still have some little stutters, not quite sure what that's about. Could just be this build, could be the NVIDIA driver, could be lots of things. Bit of it. Roll out of the throttle. Eyes to the end of the field. There we go. Welcome to Sarasota. And my parking brake went on again for some reason. Huh. Well, I'll have to get that figured out. I don't know what that is, but anyway, we're here. Hope you enjoyed. I don't know why that keeps going off. Something is toggling it on. Didn't do it on takeoff, didn't do it on taxi, so I don't know what that's about. It's probably just operator error. Well, maybe we won't taxi in. Okay, so welcome here. Whether we get taxied in or not because of the brakes, we'll find out. Yeah. So I've got something that's sending a full brake signal, and I don't know what it is, so I'll have to figure it out. It could be a loose USB cable, it could be a million different things. But regardless, we're here. There they are, they're off. And this is, I believe I downloaded this airport, the Sarasota airport from the .org. It's quite good. Let's taxi fast while we can before the brakes go back on again. Whoa! We're coming in hot. Coming in hot. And it's quite a decent, very scenery actually. It's quite detailed. As you can see, Dolphin Aviation right here. We're coming in fast. And there we go. So, there you go. Morning flight on the glide slope. Hope you liked it. Check out that new lighting file. Again, it's in the .org, and I have it linked on the blog. And thanks to the Dave who pointed that to me. Strobe off, nav off, landing lights off, beacon off, fuel pump is off. Let's get out of the mixture. Turn off the avionics so they don't run off dirty power. And turn everything off. So check that out, and thanks for flying along, and look for the next video. Maybe I'll shoot a video of how I make this glare shield since I have to rebuild it. And you can learn anything you need to learn about this simulator, which sits in a closet in my house at www.ontheglideslope.net, and all your questions should be there. And thanks for checking in. I'll see you in the next video.